Hello, everybody. Teching 101 here. Welcome back to it's springtime and it's allergy season, and I sneezed like 6 times before starting this stream. I was like, oh man, it's well and truly arrived. It's a very nice day out today. I was out earlier today. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. I went out to lunch with my mom this morning, and it was a lovely time, but yeah, there's also the allergy seasons that are happening, so great. I never used to have allergies, too. Like, when I was a kid, when I was, like, a teenager and stuff, never had to deal with it. It isn't until, like, last couple of, probably, like, last 5 years or so, I've been starting to, like, sneeze a lot and get, like, you know, my eyes get red and everything. Elbath! Greetings, everyone. How are you? I'm doing good. Happy Mother's Day. You know, we should have Big Mom over here. Hold on. Let me grab Big Mom really quick. Hold on. If there was ever a day for a mother, it would be this day. Happy birthday, Big Mom. Actually, it'd be funny if her birthday was on Mother's Day. I actually don't know when her birthday is. Hold on, let me look that up really quick. When was Big Mom's birthday? It's probably a pun, because most things are puns when it comes to Oda. Well, Oda doesn't come up with a lot of the birthdays. The birthdays are actually suggested by the fans. Her birthday is February 15th, which is actually the day after Valentine's Day, which feels like that is just a reference to something. The day after Valentine's Day. Okay, interesting. That's her birthday. Nice working, man. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Pollen has increased in the last few years. Dude, there is some cases where, not really around where I live now, but where I used to live, you know, sometimes you go outside and your car would just be covered in a thin patina of pollen. Oh, God, yeah. If I fall asleep, I'll watch you when this gets uploaded. Okay, that's fine. This will be up. Let's see. No, grab Crocodile, because as we all do, you know, Oda should just make Crocodile Luffy's mom. I don't even care if it doesn't make any sense. They can retcon it. Be like, Crocodile could be like, Luffy, the reason why I wanted to kill you back at Alabasta was to toughen you up. You know, like, that was the reason I stabbed you with my hook. You know, just to put some hair on your chest. Get stronger, you know? We all know Dadan is Luffy's mom. And by the way, happy Mother's Day to Don, because you had to raise not just Luffy, but Ace and Sabo, and that is, you want some hell through that. I mean, like, oh my God, that was rough. Yeah. Is the facial hair real? No, it's just it's applied with like a special super glue. I don't want to remove it. Out of my mind donated 50 doll hairs. Elbath. I want to see Loki redeemed by saving Ronya. Yeah, so I think the way this is going to go, just diving into the chapter, which we are here to discuss, let's try to keep on topic here today. I think Ronya is going to fall, and I think she's going to probably fall of her own volition because of the way she was talking. Not because she wants to die, obviously, but just because, like, if I were to die, the library does not get burned, and everybody will be good, so it's okay. And then she's going to dive off, and it's going to be this really awesome double-page spread where, like, I'm thinking probably, like, either Luffy or Sanji or somebody is going to, like, grab her at the last minute, and then Loki just, like, jumps from the primordial realm all the way up to the sun lair, which he could probably easily do. And then it's just, he just lands there with Ragnir, and it's just like, let's go. Okay, so they gotta join the fight at some point, but that's probably the best way to go about it. Loki saving Ronya as like, oh, okay, like it's counterbalancing the accursed prince points that he has against him right now. Like, Loki killed the royal steed and his mother died, and Charlotte Linlin burned the town down, and that was also around the time Loki was born, so like that's on him. And just Loki starts, like, settling the accounts, like, balancing the credits and debits, like, getting it to the point where it's like, okay, it's all balanced out now, all right? Yeah. Let's talk about Ronya's speech a little bit. A lot of different interpretations of this. Thanks, UCB. Okay, your view on Ronya's speech was a bit off. I think she was just referring to pillaging and raiding like they used to and letting people live in peace. Okay, so understandably, also, there's going to be a bit of a language barrier here just because Japanese to English and all that. A lot of people were quick to bring up, you know, Matt, this kind of rhetoric that she's talking about is much more commonplace in Japan. I did not go to elementary school in Japan, but the idea that, like, hey, don't cause trouble for others, don't do things that others hate. You don't want to cause issues for other people. That is like the general vibe in Japan if you grew up there and went to school there and everything like that. I wasn't saying that, like, in all respects, those are bad virtues to live by, I guess. It's just, I'm trying to put that in the perspective, like, if I sat down in, like, third grade and the teacher came out and directly told us, your job is to just, don't cause trouble for other people. That should be number one in your mind. And a lot of people were also quick to bring up, that's probably not the way they teach things at the school. It's probably just, like, inferred through just, like, their lessons of, hey, Elbath used to be filled with a lot of war and pillaging and murder, and that's not cool. So how about in this new generation, how about we try to get away from that shit? How about we care about other people's feelings and don't cause trouble for others? Not to say it as, like, a strict, like, binary, as it were. It's like you're either causing war and murdering people, or you're being quiet and complacent to everything. It's like there's a realm here where it's, like, in the middle. Ronia certainly expresses those values more directly than the other children do, because, the other kids all had different perspectives on, like, this whole thing. Ronia is at the point where she's like, yeah, we're probably all gonna get murdered, but it's okay. Everything will turn out okay. So that's, like, a little bit like naivete. Once again, she's a child, so it kind of makes sense. And let's have compassion for each other is a great message. That would have been worded better. It, once again, if I saw this in the original Japanese raw, and the way maybe there's a saying that was put in there that, like, is more well known in Japanese than English. If she would have said, like, I learned in school to care about others, and I learned in school to be compassionate. Like, that would probably resonate better, I think, than just don't do things other people don't like. It's like, well, that's a wildly, subjective thing at that point, So actually, let's pull up the official, and let me read exactly what she says in the official version. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up in the review because, like, I'm reading that and I'm like, I don't know. That just doesn't, like that logic. You know what I actually reminded me of? Remember that scene in Hunter x Hunter when we get Gyro's backstory, and Gyro's dad was, like, this horrible, abusive drunk, and, like, the only thing he ever gave to Gyro was, like, don't cause troubles for others. Glug, 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 glug. And Gyro, because he was so horribly abused his entire life, but he didn't, like, take it to be abuse, he interpreted, like, don't cause trouble for others, kid. Glug, 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 glug. He interpreted that as, like, that is the greatest lesson that my father always taught me. It's like, oh, dude, that's so jacked up. So I was thinking of that a little bit. Yeah, Gyro Zeppeli. Yeah, Gyro Zeppeli from JoJo's Part 7, right? Yeah. So let me pull up what Ronia says in the Viz. I haven't actually got a chance. I was away this morning. I just got home, like, a little while ago. Let's see. What did she say? You mustn't cause trouble for other people, and you mustn't do things that make them upset. All right, so basically the same kind of thing. Replacing hate with upset even is kind of, I think, a little better. But yeah. They could have worded it better. Well, yeah, but, like, once again, I think the way this goes, and since I was just in Japan a little while ago, I was talking to Arthur a lot about this. Like, there is a lot of stuff that just isn't transferable, I guess, between, like, different cultures. Like, something that just is a saying or an expression might just make perfect sense to anybody that grew up in Japan, and you could try to convert that to, like, an American culture or European or anything else, but, like, it's going to be, and even in Europe, there's a bunch of different cultures in America. There's a bunch of different cultures in Europe. So, like, trying to transfer that, it's not always going to be a one-to-one kind of thing. Let's see. Teching. Am I crazy for thinking the old Mother Flame, I guess that's what you mean by Eternal Flame, gave the 5 Elders and Emu their immortality, and Vegapunk has now been used for the Gods Knights? Oh, that's actually a good idea. I don't think that's the case. I think the Gods Knights. Oh, well, that is tough. All right. So here's something interesting that I wanted to bring up. That is a a jumping off point from your question, J Storm. Okay. We know that the God's Knights, at least right now, are capable of regeneration. We've seen that. Gunko can do it. Summers can do it. There are ways to stop that. Summers was hit by Scopper Gibbon, and he didn't regenerate. If the God's Knights can regenerate, they apparently still age like normal humans, because Garling was a young man back at God Valley, and now he's an old dude. So did they have regeneration back at God Valley? I would assume they did, because it's very likely that that's where the Roger Pirates really fought them. Like, maybe Rayleigh fought against somebody one-on-one. Like Roger went up against Garling, and Rayleigh went up against another God's Knights. Maybe Scopper fought. Maybe Summers was at God Valley. We just didn't see him there, but he could have been there. And then that's where they learned about the immortality and, like, how to, like, break through it, right? So it seems to me like they do have some of the powers of the Gorosei, but not all of them. Really, at this point, you might as well just compare this to, like, the bronze package, the silver, the gold package of, like, Emu's abilities. Yeah, so the Gorosei are clearly different because, you know, Saturn, at least as we know of, has been alive for over 200 years, and he's looked the same for 200 years. Yeah, the immortal surgery could also be a part of this. Like, they've been doing the immortal surgery on everybody for, like, the last couple of, like, they've had 900 years at this point for, like, one user of the op fruit to perform it on Emu, and then another one on Shepherd Jupiter, and then another one on Ethan Baron Venus Juro, and, like, they've had enough time to do it, like, absolutely. So yeah, I think it's just a question of also, like, how long have they had this ability? Could they have gotten it from the former Mother Flame? It's very possible, but also it's very possible that that technology could have existed. Like, the idea is the first realm also had really advanced technology, and that was, like, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Is that, like, it might have even have been, like, a similar world to ours, like a contemporary world, like, not our world exactly, but, like, they had nuclear power and shit, right? And so it could have been a remnant from that just continued to the end of the Second Age, which is when Emu took over with the Gorosei, and then the Third Age got kicked off. Could have been something like that. Is it just me, or doesn't the stakes of Elbaf, 3 Holy Knights versus 9 Straw Hats, Scopper Giants, and probably Loki? I doesn't see the stakes of Elbaf. I mean, the stakes of Elbaf are if they can't figure out a way to take out all of the God's Knights, which I don't know if this is, like, remember, they have the Abyss. They can call for fucking backup, right? Like, this isn't just Gunko, Killingham, and Summers. Shamrock can always come back, right? Like, they can teleport now. Like, we're opening the fast travel system in One Piece. So, you know, let's say Scopper can take on Summers. Like, I'm sure he probably can, but, like, I don't think this is going to be painted like Scopper is so strong he could take all the God's Knights at once. Like, even if you want to say, okay, we got Scopper, we got Luffy, who has Gear 5th, and then we also have Loki, who could also deal some heavy damage there, which what it might come down to. You know, maybe next time go for the head. Yeah, that would be fun. Let's see that. Let's see what happens. Let's see Scopper cut off Summers' head and see what fucking happens, right? Let's see here. I'm going through some other super chats here. Yeah, but thank you, Jay Storm. This is regular Jay. Are you going to do another One Piece Q&A live session? I've always wondered, why is Green Bull the only Admiral? Yeah, I'm going to do another one of those at some point. I'll get back into those at some point, though. I think the next one I have to use Usopp for the thumbnail. I've been going sequentially with the Straw Hats, like Luffy, Zoro, Nami. Yeah, I will do another Q&A session at some point. Happy Mother's Day! Happy Mother's Day. I can see Scopper as the next hockey teacher for Luffy. Yeah, so let's talk about that. So raise your hands. Who thinks it's Advanced Conquerors hockey? See, I don't have any problem with that. And, like, Scopper being a teacher, absolutely. So, and it does follow the rhythm, right? Like, we had Luffy learning more about observation while in Whole Cake Island with Katakuri. Then Luffy learning... Well, here's the thing. Luffy learned a little bit more about armament hockey, the Ryuo, while he was in Wano. But there was also some Conquerors hockey mixed into that, too. Like, combining the Conquerors hockey with armament was, like, another big upgraded form. So, like, if you want to explore an even greater form of this, which could be tied to the hockey nuke, that went off during Egghead. Like, this is a display of the absolute strongest hockey, the kind of hockey that can be stored and released for later. Ooh, what if that's the idea with Scopper Gabon? What if it's kind of like, this is a weird reference, but what if it's like Lao G? Lao G had a fighting style. Let me just look up really what it's called. Lao G's fighting style basically allowed him to store Geoken. His Geoken, there's the G! The idea of it is he stores his physical strength when he's young to use it later when he's old. So that's how Lao G could get super buff in his older years. What if it isn't just the rope or the knot that Joy Boy used? What if, like, Scopper way back in his heyday was like, I'm going to store a fuckload of hockey inside of my axes or inside of something, and then I could use them later when I'm an old man. You know, I could burst out my hockey whenever I wanted to. That's a pretty cool idea. Yeah, like you save something to use for later. If the God's Knights got defeated, do you think Shamrock will go back to Elbaf? Dude, that would be a good final boss moment if they all got, like, taken out, and then, like, we did it! In fact, I can even see that. Scopper defeats Summers, Luffy shows up and fights against Killingham. I want to see Luffy fight Killingham, because his ability is to manifest dreams. You could also throw Zoro and Sanji into that fight, too. And then I guess, I don't know, Loki against Gunko or whatever. Loki's going to have a fight as well. You know, and also maybe it might be Luffy and Loki and everybody fighting Killingham because Killingham has the army that he fights with. You know what I mean? So it could be all that kind of shit, right? Well, what if they're all defeated and it's like, okay, that was a tough fight, but we did it. We're okay. And then the abyss opens up and Shamrock walks through. Like, oh, shit, final boss music. Sephiroth! Shamrock! Shamrock! That would fuck nuts. Yeah. Gabon does have the G. I love Lao G. Lao G. Dude, one of my favorite gags in One Piece was when Lao G was fighting the Tontada and they were like buzzing around his head and he was like so old. He like had to put on his reading glasses. He's like bifocal. So he's like, hey, what's that? What's going on? Oh, okay. And then smacks him out of the sky. That's like such a stupid, that's not stupid. That's actually legitimately funny. All right. That like, he's old. He's like, hold on. I got to put on my glasses. Oh, there you are. He smacks him out of the sky. That was great. Sakamoto Days. How is Sakamoto Days? Are things heating up in the hit manga Sakamoto Days? I don't know why I call it that. It sounds fun to say that. Sakamoto. Yeah, Louis Arnault's message is going to be relevant. Look, Oda really does set these up a lot of times in advance. You kind of just have to, like, accept that, like, all right, if the message that Louis Arnault wanted to say of, like, why you don't stay in Elbaf for very long, if that's not revealed in, like, a chapter or so, it's probably going to take, like, 50, but we'll probably get there. We will get there. Yeah. Would you make a video or series of all the jobs in One Piece, even more or less common ones? Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, I should do that. Hold on, I'm going to write that down, Liam. Hold on, that sounds fun. I'm going to write that down. I was thinking about the other day, there is a video I've wanted to do for a while. I'm going through all the animal species in One Piece. That's obviously a really big video. I might not go through every single one of them, just like those. So there is a categorization system. There's like a taxonomical system in One Piece, kind of. They're either A, B, C, or D. And I think A and B are like big and small friendlies, and C and D are big and small savages. Like animals that are like, it's kind of like in the SCP Foundation where there's like the Keter and the Euclid kind of thing. Like, here are the things that won't actively kill you, and then here are the things that are actively trying to kill you, right? It's kind of like that. So I need to make a video about that too. But like, yeah, like that's a good one. I'm going to write that down, Liam, like jobs in One Piece. That sounds like fun because yeah, there are a few that are like Bounty Hunter and like Mass Deuce, who was on Ace's crew, wanted to just be like an adventurer, an explorer. Pedro wanted to just be an explorer. Pedro didn't set out to be a pirate, right? Let's see. What do we got here? You actually already did the animal video already. Holy shit, did I? I'm getting to the point where I will think of a video idea, and then it's like, holy crap, did I? Yeah, I did. Back in 2020. Oh, man. Wow, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, I've made so many goddamn videos. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll do that. Sometimes I'll be making a video and I'll stop halfway and I'll be like, this seems familiar. Didn't I already do this before? Tech, do you think Gabon has Conquerors hockey that Sanji will get as well? All right. I'll do a poll for this. I don't think people really minded too much with Zoro. Should Sanji get Conquerors hockey? Can I spell Conquerors? I cannot. All right, there we go. Yes, no, and taco. Yes, no, taco. Should Sanji get Conquerors hockey? Let's fucking go. Let's go. All right, I'm seeing. All right, now it's starting to even out. All right, we'll let that sit for a moment. Will I ever do a dad tier list from all the mediums? I've seen people do these a lot. I should probably do one. I've seen Team 4-Star do that. That was a good one that they did. Seen some other YouTubers do that. I should probably do the dad tier list. I'll just write down the dad tier list. Any other video ideas while I'm here? While I'm writing these down? Dad tier list. All right. Tacos! Dude, I want to tell you a sad story, all right? Are you ready for the sad story? You're going to cry at the end of this. It's really tragic, okay? Last week was Cinco de Mayo, a holiday that is not really celebrated in Mexico too much, but it celebrates the moment that the Mexican army defeated the French army and they were outnumbered, and for some reason in America we treat that as an excuse to go eat tacos and get drunk. But anyway, we went to a Mexican restaurant on Cinco de Mayo, and I got this quesadilla, and it was really good. It was a huge quesadilla, and I ate half of it. There was like pineapple in it and this good sauce. It was great. And I had half the quesadilla left, and I was like, man, I can't wait to eat that later. So they brought a box, and I put it in there, and I left my quesadilla at the restaurant. I didn't realize until I got home. It's like it was a 45-minute drive to the restaurant, too. It's like, no. I lost my quesadilla. I left it on the table. Never getting the quesadilla. It's gone. I wasn't ready to cry today, man. Oh, that's more tragic than Kuma's backstory right there. At least Kuma got his quesadilla. Cue the tiny violin from SpongeBob. It's a fucking Greek tragedy, man. I'll tell you what. It was a good quesadilla, though. And did enjoy it. All right. What do we have? Yes. Okay. It seems a little split right now, but the poll is 54%. Yes, Sanji should get Conquerors. 24% say Taco, and 20% say no. So even counting for Taco, 20% is in the low running there, is in the third place. So, yes, let's give Sanji Conquerors. Why not? If Scopper has it, Sanji gets it too. Yeah. I was born on May 5th. Okay. EDS, that makes my skin stretchy like rubber. Am I Joy Boy? Maybe. I've never heard of that before. I did not know that was a thing. Happy birthday, though. We don't have it confirmed yet for Scopper. We'll say, well, sure we don't. We don't even know. Dude, I got a comment on the video the other day that was like, it's obviously he has C Prism stone axes. That's what's doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with him having C Prism stone axes, or at least C Prism like the blades are C Prism. Like, I'm cool with that. Is we don't know yet. We don't know. What if okay, wait a minute. What if we're approaching this from the wrong angle here? We're like, Scopper has Conquerors hockey. That's really powerful. That's how he was able to cut Summers. Scopper has C Prism axes. That's how he was able to do it. What if it's because Scopper is the Minister of Love? What if it ties into that? What if we're like, Oda's over there like, yeah, they're thinking Conquerors and C Prism. It's like a special weapon or some advanced Conquerors hockey. No, he's the Minister of Love, and that's the reason he was able to bypass their immortality. There's lightning. Yes, exactly. The lightning of love, ladies and gentlemen. When you feel love, true love, for slashing your opponent in the chest, it manifests in the form of plasma. We all know this. Oh, Jinbei's going to kick ass, too. I think Scopper is immediately after he slashed Summers, he's going to free the Straw Hats, and he's going to be like, hey, get out of here or help me fight, whatever you want to do, right? Like, I don't think he's going to, like, make the Straw Hats fight with him. But he's like, hey, if you guys want to help me. And I was going through this in the review, like, who is the best suited for this? Robin is kind of injured from the thorns. She did get, like, stabbed a little bit from that. She is bleeding. Nami and Brooke cannot use hockey. Usopp knows observation, so this is a time for Usopp to step up. And then Jinbei is the one that is the most competent and knows how to use hockey and shit. So maybe Scopper will be like, all right, Jinbei, you back me up. Let's go. You know? Is Teko named after me? No, it's just because Teko Shokan is, like... it used to be the name of I think it's like based off the name of iron or steel processing in Japanese. Cause like, you know, like Tekken, I know is something like that. Like there was a Keto spell in Bleach that has like, Tekken in it, and then it means steel, and Pittsburgh is Steel City. So like, there you go. I'm going to be a guest at, Teko this year though. I'm actually going to be a proper guest this year. I'm doing a trivia like I did last year. I'm also going to be doing like a Q&A session and like signing autographs and all sorts of things. So come on down. It'll be more information. It'll be in July. I think it's like, wait a minute. I think I actually have the dates. I still have to fill out some information involving that, actually. But it'll be July. I guess I don't have it in my phone. All right, just go on the website and type in Teko 2025. When and where is Teko? It's probably going to be like, I'll just look it up right now. I have a computer. We have technology. It's going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, July 17th to the 20th is when it's going to be. I'm probably going to do my stuff probably Friday, Saturday. So like probably 18th, 19th is probably going to be a lot of my stuff. I don't know how many days I'm going to stay there, though, because I actually am going to be a proper guest this year. So, yeah, that'll be when that is. More information to follow. We did a trivia contest last year. I'm going to do the same thing again. This time, maybe make the questions a little easier because they were really difficult last year. But we'll see. We'll see. That's coming down the pipeline here. Okay. Emotions are required in the Knights, but instead it turns your hockey into an embodiment of an emotion. Yeah, it could be something like that. It also could be certain emotions, like Summers does have emotions for things. They're just like he's a sadistic fuck, right? Like so, but what if it does come down to like feeling true love for somebody is enough to bypass that immortality, right? Could be that. Could be that. And it's messing with Gunko because she really does like respect and look up to Brooke, and it's messing with it. It's not compatible with her like new body. Yeah, it's interesting. Make the last 5 to 10 questions hard. So last year what I did was like an easy, medium, hard. And a lot of people actually came to me and said, dude, the medium questions were like the hardest. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll switch this around. I also have some friends that read and watch One Piece that are more of like standard One Piece fans that aren't like me, like crazy, like let's do really complicated questions. So I'm going to run some of these by them, and I'm going to ask them also if you could contribute some questions that are maybe more streamlined, you know? Like we'll do that. Did Scopper cut off the arm? Well, he didn't cut off an arm. He cut off the hand. And it wasn't the one that has the abyss. So the one that he's referring to, Summers has a tattoo on his left elbow, I think it is. Let me just pull it up. He does have a tattoo. We see it when he gets teleported in and he's like half naked. I'm at work right now, but I wanted to catch you, and I wanted to ask you a theory question. Do you think Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi could be related to the Void, the Tenryubito? The Abyss. Like, well, there's, parallels there. I don't think it's the same thing just because Blackbeard's ability clearly sucks things in and, like, crushes them with gravity and darkness. This is clearly some kind of teleportation, two-way portal kind of ability. They both involve darkness and, like, shadow, though. So if there turns out to be some kind of connection, I wouldn't be surprised, but so far nothing that like points out to it really quick. Okay, hold on, let me pull this up here. Okay, so this is the reference. This is on Summers's left arm. He got his right hand cut off in the last chapter. He has this mark on his elbow. Interesting little footnote I saw, and this is just from the wiki, but the symbol is also similar. I gotta find another image here. Hold on a minute. Okay. If you guys remember back during Jaya, It's not completely dissimilar. I mean, it looks like a compass, if we're just being straight up. It's a compass, but if you look at it next to the Saint Brice from the kingdom, I think it is just called the Brice Kingdom, yes. There is a comparison there. I mean, like, that could also be the mark of, like, you need to have it, because they mentioned you have to be marked in order to use the Abyss. It doesn't seem like the kind of mark that that you need to, like, get it tattooed. It is something that, like, Emu probably has to bestow upon you or something. Yeah, that's the ship that fell from the sky. Yeah. Also, check out Summers' foot. Yeah, check out those toes. Yeah. You know, Oda always gives us what we want. You know, a lot of times it's boobs, but occasionally he's like, I'll draw this old man's feet. There you go. Maybe there's a comparison there, maybe not. Who knows? Yeah. All right, let's see. Let me go back through some of these super chats here. I didn't want to miss any. Okay. Scopper will show that it's Conqueror's Ryuo. It's not just damage. It's not just physical damage. Like, Conquerors plus Ryuo has other applications. That's cool. Yeah, if it was something like that, I'm okay with that. Dude, look. I'm against this trope in, like, Fairy Tail when they always do that, like, friendship! Boom! And, like, friendship, power up! Friendship is the greatest magic. You could probably get away with doing, like, I have love and that makes my willpower stronger, because literally hockey is, like, will and ambition. Like, that's what it is. So, very possible that could be something like that. Okay, I got these. I can see Scopper as the next hockey teacher for Luffy. Could be, and we could also do a thing like, well, they're on Elbaf for a while because time dilation or some shit, and they have some time to train. So Oda might do that. Like, you got 3 months in Elbaf, and it's only like, 3 months in Elbaf could only be like a week on the outside world or something, but time still passes, you know, something like that. Or it could be the reverse. That could be a problem. Yeah, okay, I got all these. All right. I just want to say thank you for all the amazing videos. I'm relatively new to One Piece, started about 2 years ago, and your videos have helped me understanding of the series. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Brittany. Enjoy the story. Your first read-through of this is always going to be special. Like, I started with the 4Kids dub, and even that, I still have some fond memories of, okay? Of, like, that was how I first did, like, the Baratier and, like, Mihawk showing up and everything, and eventually, like, getting into Alabasta and everything. But, hey, you're going to remember the first time you read the story. Hope you're enjoying it. Thank you for being a fan. Thanks for the 10. Not the 4Kids dub. Yeah, well, we didn't have your fancy simulcasted animes back in 2005. We had to make do with Sonic and Viva la Piñata and the thing with the Kirby right back at ya kind of shit. We had to make good with that. Yeah. I mean, 4Kids did have some charm. There was some golden moments in 4Kids that weren't, like, super bad. You know. We had to use JetX back in the day. That's what we had to use. We had to log online with dial-up internet and find a little video player about the size of a postage stamp. And then we had to sit there and wait for it to load for 47 minutes to watch 3 minutes of anime. It was rough, but we managed to make it through. We were the pioneers. Will we get new bounties after Egghead? Well, I mean, after Egghead, I mean, technically speaking, yeah, we will get new bounties at some point after Egghead. Yeah, sure. I mean, yes. I have 2 requests. Oh yeah, the D&D thing, that was fun. We need to do that again. 2, on a video of all things that we were still waiting on a payoff for. Oda forgot about the Doriki system. I made a video about the Doriki not long ago. Just look it up, called Power Levels. I kind of addressed that. I don't think Oda was trying to make that, like, I'm going to make this a thing in the rest of the manga. I don't think he was trying to do that. I think Oda was kind of doing, like, a little bit of a touch and, like, parody of the power level shit from, like, Dragon Ball and stuff, and how power levels, like, the whole point of that was Fukuro can test your ability, and then, like, immediately it's like, yeah, but those numbers don't account for Devil Fruit powers, so it's just physical strength, so those numbers kind of fall apart, and I think that was kind of the point. I don't think Oda planned on introducing the Doriki system into, like, Thriller Bark and Marineford and stuff like that. And I would be highly, highly surprised if it ever got brought up again. I've been watching for like 5 years. What do you think about the Strahds taking Gunko hostage? I think that would be a fun dynamic. That would be fun if they took her hostage and like there's Brook and Gunko there and they have to interact with each other and they don't really, there's this awkward moment there where she's just like, whatever, I want you to make, songs for me. And then Brook is like, young lady, songs are not meant to be contained. They're meant to be shared with the world. Yeah, man. The point was the numbers. The point was like, Lucci's the strongest, Kaku's the second strongest, Jabra's the third strongest. Like, that was the point of that. Would you ever do a One Piece video about the things you wish you could change or any criticism? I've thought about doing, like, the top 10 things I don't like about One Piece, but I feel like that would just introduce an unnecessary amount of, like, negativity into this. So, like, I'm not going to do that. I have thought about doing, like, my top 10, like, the moments I love the most about the story, but that's so hard to narrow down because there's so fucking many, right? And they change a lot. Like, there'll be a moment that I'm like, oh, man, I really love that scene, and then I'll go away for a while, and you're like, oh, man, this scene's really good, too. Oh, this scene's really good, too. Oh, yeah. I brought a lot of souvenirs back. I got a lot of stuff. Oh, man, I bought as much stuff as I could fit in my suitcase. Top 100 moments. Yeah, there we go. That's more appropriate. Maybe top 75. Maybe I could do 75. What if Gunko is the girl from the island Brook was sent to by Kuma? Not impossible. Like, she would have had to get heterochromia at some point. But I doubt it's her. I feel like, yeah, Brook did say, oh, that girl. Oh, maybe is that he kind of recognized her, maybe? And that was a little strange because where would Brook have seen her before? Maybe Gunko went to one of Brook's concerts. That kind of makes sense if she showed up to one of Brook's concert and asked for an autograph at some point. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be doing more Baldur's Gate. I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight, but I might. I don't know. Yeah, it could be. Well, the heterochromia emu possessing her, like, why don't all the other Gods Knights have it? I don't, unless, like, you want to, like, make the argument that, like, Gunko here is literally emu, and it's, like, a dual personality thing, like, emu's taking her over, and then, like, backseat, and then taking over again. Like, I'm not really sure how that could go. Or she's Uta. Yeah, let's go with Uta. Gunko could be from Brook's old battle convoy. Yeah, she's like, no, I don't think Gunko is as old as the rest of them. From what we've established, God's Knights still age like normal. And I think the implication is Gunko's fairly new to these ranks. I think Gunko had like a regular like upbringing in the lower realm. She wasn't originally a Tenryubito. She wasn't raised at Marijois. And then eventually she got drafted to join the Gods Knights, which that's a story in and of itself to get from a commoner all the way up there. She could have had connections to the Revolutionary Army too, and that's why she got recruited. Whole other reason there. Let's see. I've been watching your content every day for the last 3 years. Do you think the ability Gabon uses is just a new type of hockey, or is it a power-up? So I don't think it's going to be like, it's the fourth type of hockey. I don't think Oda's ever going to do the fourth type of hockey. I did a video about it just because, like, what if there's a fourth type of hockey? I think Oda probably wants to stay consistent to what he has. There's a reason why we don't keep getting new categories of Devil Fruit. I mean, we kind of do with zones, but they still follow the same rule. It's not like Oda's like, here is the fourth category, beyond Logia, Zone, and Paramecia. Blibbery bubbles, bubble hockey. I don't know. Bubble Devil Fruit. I don't know. I can't come up with stuff off the top of my head, but like something like that. All right. And I don't think we're ever going to get that. I don't think we're ever going to get like fourth type of there was that ancient type of hockey that was mentioned that one time. In fact, hold on. Somebody's probably already brought it up. Special Paramecia kind of feels like a fourth type. No, I'll tell you what fucking Special Paramecia feels like. Special Paramecia is a retcon because Oda originally wanted Katakuri to have a Logia. It was printed in the magazine as a Logia. And then I think Oda or maybe one of his editors or somebody came up to him and was like, hey, maybe this doesn't make sense with what you're trying to do. And Oda's like, shit, it doesn't. And then it's like, okay, he's Special Paramecia because that's the only other category that makes sense, right? So I think that probably makes more sense. Let's go with that. It's a dodecahedron. Are you doing a panel at Techo this year? Yeah, we just talked about that a little while ago. I'll be doing a panel at Techo, and it'll be July 17th to the 20th is the convention. I'll probably be there 18th, 19th, Friday, Saturday. I'll probably be there Sunday too. And I will be doing at least 2 panels this year. Yeah. I will be doing that. Are you sure it wasn't a reveal? I'm feeling like it wasn't a reveal. Yeah, because it was Logia originally, and Oda had to change it later. So I'm thinking this wasn't originally planned to be Special Paramecia. Oda had to change it because of something else. Yeah. Yeah, Logias having a subcategory would be okay. Like, that would be fine. Like, Paramecias have at least one. Zones have... Well, it depends on what you want to say with zones. Like, there's ancient zones, mythical zones. Carnivorous zones are also, like, a subcategory of that, if you want to include carnivorous animals in there, too. I have not played the remaster of Oblivion. I haven't played the original version of Oblivion. I'm not really huge into the Elder Scrolls games. I've only played Skyrim, and I only played Skyrim for, like, 2 hours. Yeah, Oda does make mistakes. I was thinking about doing a video on that, like, the biggest retcons in the story that are, like, undoubtedly some form of retcon. Like, Oda did something and then like, oh, I forgot about this. I have to change it later. Another one that's going to be on that list if I do that video. In fact, I'm just going to write that down now so I don't forget. Retcon video. Remember when Mr. 3 was defeated by Crocodile and got thrown onto the pool of water and he was like floating on the water? Oda actually had to go back and correct that and be like, oh, yeah, he wasn't actually floating on water. He was floating on a piece of super buoyant wood, which we actually eventually end up seeing in the story at the end of Fishman Island. It's the wood that the Straw Hats use on the Sunny to get back to the surface. He actually incorporated that mistake into a retcon, into an actual canon thing. So that's shit. That's like, yeah. That's a retcon. That was Oda drew Galdino floating on water, and he just forgot that he's a Devil Freezer. It's fine. Yeah. Super floaty wood. Yep. Why do you think Killingham is wearing the spherical helmet? I've just seen some people, it might just be because he's a germaphobe. It just might be because he's a Celestial Dragon and he likes wearing it. He's like, well, Summers doesn't, Gunko doesn't. Yeah, but a lot of Celestial Dragons do. He might just prefer that fashion. He might just like the style of wearing the helmet, right? Or he could be germaphobic. He could be, like, against that. Don't really see him acting that way, but he could be. He just might like the style. They are still Celestial Dragons, after all. It would make sense some of them wants to do it. It's not a retcon. It's super surprise storytelling. I'm not a big deal. It's not a big deal to say something's a retcon. The story's been going on for almost 30 years, and Oda can make mistakes. He's a human being. He has editors and stuff to try to help him and be like, hey, you can't, you know. I mean, hell, look at, I'm not going to, okay, if I do the retcon video, I will mention, like, mistakes in drawing things. Like, for example, in that one chapter everybody thought was an illusion at the beginning of Elbaf, where Luffy's weapon changes from, like, a sword to an axe, and then he has no weapon, and then back to a sword, and then back to an axe. That chapter had a bunch of, like, art mistakes. I'm not going to say those are retcons. I'm going to say that just, like, Oda was tired when drawing that chapter. Yeah. But it's not a bad word to say retcon. Now, if Oda's doing retcons, like, every other chapter, like, oh, by the way, this didn't actually happen, it was actually this, then, like, and he's doing that constantly. Here's something that happens in One Punch Man a lot. Murata goes back, and anybody that loves One Punch Man knows this. Murata will draw a chapter, like an arc, a fight scene, and then he'll, like, stop the fight scene mid-fight scene and be like, you know what, I want to go back and redo the whole thing. And so he'll do that. He'll be like, yeah, this is Sonic and Flash fighting against, that man, like the evil ninja. And it's like halfway through and they're fighting all these ninjas. Like, yeah, you know what? Scrap the whole thing. Fuck it. I'm just going to go back and redo the whole thing. And it's like, I understand. Like, I think Child Emperor and Phoenix guys fight. I think there's like 3 different versions of that. And it's like, I get what you're doing. Like, oh, I should have incorporated more backstory into this fight. All right, scrap it. Start over. And I'm just like, I understand, dude, but, like, you gotta progress the story at some point. I know you gotta, like, you like to do, man, I should have done this fight better. Fuck it, I am going to. But imagine if they did that in One Piece, right? Like, imagine if, like, Luffy fights against Lucci at Enies Lobby, and it's such a good fight, and we get almost to the very end of it, and then Oda all of a sudden releases a statement that's like, okay, I'm not really a fan with the way how this Lucci versus Luffy fight went, so we're just gonna go back 8 chapters and redo the whole thing. Is that cool? All right, let's go. And it'd be like, okay, what? Murata is insane. Kind of. He's drawn stuff like nuts. Yeah. The Garo fight. Remember the part of the Garo fight where Saitama and Garo were just sitting at the little tea table? They're like, talk about your feelings. I kind of wanted to see where that was going to go. And he's like, nah, that's dumb. Let's redo it. It's like, shit. Okay, don't you think it's weird that kidnapping the children would make Elbaf surrender to the government? What if Elbaf's population, I think it's sketchy. I did bring up that, like, them kidnapping the children and then killing the children might just make the Elbaf giants like, you killed our children, you're gonna die, we have nothing to lose now, we're gonna go murder you, you know, we're not gonna bend the knee to you, right? It could be something like that, right? Might just make them, like, more dedicated to fight. All right, we got a couple of here's members. Thank you, Alejandro. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you like to see Robin hug you? like with Summers in this chapter. There was the scene where Robin had to jump on Summers, and if you look at that scene, it does look like Summers' face went right into her chest. I don't know, 10 out of 10, I guess, man. How did Robin dissolve her clone before she took damage from Summers? So the idea is... Well, wait a minute. So did Robin dissolve her clone before she took... Okay, so the idea is, from what we've seen with her clones, and I think we also saw this... Hold on, let me pull it up really quick. Hold on, I gotta pull up a reference point here. Hana no Mi. I gotta find what chapter this is in. Because some people brought this up, and that's really important. This is Robin's plan to use her clone and then, like, just throw them both off the side of the branch. And a lot of people brought up, was like, wait a minute, Robin can feel the pain of her body parts, right? So doesn't that mean she did get stabbed in the head? Wouldn't she feel that? Which, by the way, she very well might have. She's just tanked the pain. She's not actually getting stabbed in the head, but she would feel the pain of that. So, I'm going to pull this up. And after the time skip abilities, okay, it's called Body Flower. All right. Okay, so she first uses it at Fishman Island. She can also sprout clothing with the thing. I think she just tanked the pain. I'm trying to find the chapter where she used it at Wano. Yeah, so I gotta find where she did that. What was the chapter where she was fighting the Oni Wabanshu? Because I want to see the way it works there. Did the Oni Wabanshu slash the clone first and then she disappeared, or did she disappear before they actually hit her? 932. That sounds right. That does sound right. Thank you, random guy. 932. Let's pull that up. Let's see here. Maybe? All right, they're at the banquet. She's sneaking in. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So the way it works is Robin gets jumped by the Oni Wabanshu. I'll pull up the images here. Okay, and then there's this other panel. Okay, so Robin gets jumped by the Oni Wabanshu here. And she gets a rope tied around her neck, and she gets a bunch of... The shurikens are hitting her. You see the shurikens are going into her body, and then she disperses as flowers. So the attack... It's this. So it is kind of the same thing that happened at Elbaf with Summers. Like, she gets hit first, and then the clone dissolves. And right after that... She is sweating after that, but you could also say it's just like, that was a close one. I need to get out of here, like running away. It didn't really seem like Robin was in pain from that exchange. It just seemed like she just made a quick escape. Like she had to get out of there, right? So I don't think she feels the pain. Either that or it's not as severe. She could just like turn the clone off or something like that, or it is just a pile of flower petals and then there you go. Because... In both cases here, she didn't seem to exhibit pain from this. Yeah. Or she just trained with her devil fruit. Yeah. Also, it seems like she can only do one clone at a time. She can't go full shadow clones yet. Yeah. We've seen her only make one clone at Fishman Island, one here, one at Elbath. Yeah. Yeah. I think in the anime she did feel it. Well, if it's the anime, it's the anime. But right here in the manga, I'm looking at it. She doesn't. There's no panel to exhibit the real Robin, like, clutching her chest or her neck after she got strangled. Like, oh, okay. Whew, that was a close one. I got to get out of here. You know, like, nothing like that. So I'm going to assume it isn't a thing. Yeah, people keep saying she used this ability at Water 7. Give me the chapter on that so I can look that up, because more than one person has said she used a clone at Water 7 to trick Robin, to trick Chopper or Sanji to, like, get away from them. So give me a chapter number on that. We can look into that too. If you could store your hockey into anything, what would it be? It would be Barry. Barry would have all of the hockey stored in him, and then I could just throw him. Yeah. Chapter 1377. Wow, that's crazy. We just loop back to Water 7. Water 7. Actually, there's actually 2 Water 7 arcs right now. Water 7, Part 3. Even more wet this time. You know, when I was in, when I first met Arthur in Japan, we were hanging out in Chiba. He asked me, we were like exchanging like One Piece questions with each other, and as you do. Guess there is the island of Water 7 does have a name. Do you know what the name of the island is? The island has a name, and also, like, the fountain itself has a name. Six Flags is in Water 7. That's great. Yeah. It's in the 340s. Let's see here. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. I say men if motivated. I say men if in general. I guess motivated. I mean, they would have to be motivated if you're forced to fight a gorilla. I don't think if you're forced in an arena to fight a gorilla, I don't think a guy's going to be like, "Yeah, whatever, I don't want to do this." I think you're going to be motivated at that point. No, it's literally called Shipbuilding Island. Like, it is just called Shipbuilding Island. And I think the fountain is called, like, the Great Glass. I can't remember what it is now. I don't even think it's on the wiki. Like, Arthur got it from, like, looking through the notes in, like, the magazines or something, I think. Splish Splash, I was taking a bath. Yeah, I met with O'Hara. Yeah, met him in Japan. He was a really cool dude. We went out to rum. Me and my friend and O'Hara and Arthur all went out to eat ramen together, like one of our first nights there, and that was really good. We had really good ramen. I had authentic ramen and sushi and rice balls. It was great. Great experience. Yeah, both O'Hara and Library of O'Hara together. Yes. That joke was made. Yes. Oh, man. Speaking of storing hockey, do you think it can be used as a power source Vegapunk is looking for? Can multiple people store hockey in one source? Good question. Maybe if they agree to it. Like, let's say you had, like, Poseidon and Joy Boy together who were clearly, like, lovers. What if they together wanted to store their hockey into an object? Maybe you could do that. But if two people that, like, hate each other, maybe they couldn't do it that way or something like that. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, bro, imagine eating ramen in Japan with Teki and O'Hara. Well, we did. Yeah, I sat next to... So we were in this, like, small little place, and, yeah, we were sitting there, and we were just eating ramen, and he was, like, talking to me about stuff, and, you know, it was a fun time. It was a surreal experience. It was actually around Shinjuku, and then we walked around Shinjuku together. We went to a temple, and we prayed and that stuff. That was really cool. Yeah, I love Japan. I want to go back. Did you have takoyaki? Yes, I did. I mean, we did talk a lot about One Piece, but it was also just like us just bullshitting too about like stuff, you know, like, you know, we were talking about like, it's like, oh, like he went to college for this. And I was like, oh, I talked about like what I go to college for and everything like that. We just like bullshitting, you know? Yeah. Yeah, Shipbuilding Island is on the wiki. I don't think the name of the fountain is on the wiki. Yeah. Oh, I did. I was actually prepping a video to talk about Saturn when Saturn popped up. I even have, like I went through the episode and got all the images of Saturn emerging out of the abyss, and I'm like, oh, I'm probably going to talk about this. Haven't talked about it yet, but I'm going to talk about this. Yeah. I thought about buying... Oh, dude, I got to show you... I don't know if I have it. I probably do. Hold on a minute. Let me pull up the picture from Japan. We're still taking One Piece questions, but I think we did... Oh, describe Akihabara to us. Is it truly weeb heaven? Yeah, it's pretty much weeb heaven. I didn't get to go in every single store because there's so many, but a lot of stores have like 6. There was one store we went into that has like 6 floors, and each floor is like, this floor is just for mechs, just for Gundams and shit. This floor is just for like shoujo anime figurines, waifus kind of stuff. This floor is just for Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff. This floor is just for this. It really is like that. Dude, I wanted to buy this. There were so many things that I'm like, okay, number 1, this is too fragile to fit in my suitcase. Number 2, it's really expensive. I guess I could have mailed it back to me. I did think about that. But, where is it? Dude. It was when we went to Akihabara, which would have been, what was that, Saturday? Yeah, that was Saturday we went there. All right, where is it? Oh, get ready for this. This thing right here. Look at this. This is the Dark Magician of, the Magician of Black Chaos. Yeah. Look at that. The Magician of Black Chaos. And it was about, like, yay big. And I'm like, oh my god, I would have loved to have that. That looks so cool. I'm seeing shit like that, and I'm like, oh, dude, so sick. Here's Voltron. Here's a Voltron they had. Yeah. Oh, here's a cool Venom. All of these have to be flipped, but here's a pretty neat Venom. And they're okay with taking pictures, by the way. A lot of things in Japan, when you're walking around, they'll actually say, pictures are okay, video is not. So I didn't really go around, like, vlogging too much, because it's, like, a lot of places, like the One Piece, actually, let me see if I could find it. One of the One Piece stores that we went to, I mean, they're all like this, but, like, a lot of times they'll have, like, I think it's on this Chopper one. Yeah, you can see it on the Chopper. Like, look down below at the red. There's, like, a picture of a video camera. Like, you're not allowed, like, they don't care if you take pictures, but you're not allowed to, like, film, like, while you're inside of the place. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of really cool stuff. Did they have Big O? They probably did. We didn't really stay on the giant mech floor too much. But yeah. I'm sure they did. What was the price? The price of the Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Chaos was, let me zoom in here. The price was 25,000 yen, which 10,000 yen, I think I passed that out. Like, I evened that out to being around $70, I think. So that's probably over $150 easy for that thing. Yen to dollar. 25,000 yen is about $172. Yeah. So that was the money for that. So I wasn't going to get that, but I'm like, dude, that looks sick. Looks sick. Here's 2 other random figurines. One is a girl from Guilty Gear that has big boobs, and then another one, I don't know who this girl is. The girl in the red, and she has some kind of, like, I think it's a trading card or something she's holding. Yeah, she has like a Joker card that she's laughing about. She honestly looks like she's from a Persona game. And she was sold out, so apparently a lot of people liked her. Yeah. Yeah. So that was cool. Kakeguri. I've never heard of it, but it sold out, so apparently a lot of people. Yeah. The Gamble. Okay, I'll have to check that out, I guess. Oh, this was great. So I was on the train at one point, and wait, was it Guilty Gear? I think it was. So we're on the trains a lot, right? And especially later in the day when we're heading back to our hotel, it's like an hour. We were staying in Chiba. It's like an hour ride from Chiba to like center Tokyo, which is also something I know now that I didn't then. I was like, okay, good. If I ever come back to Tokyo, I now know generally where everything is, how far it takes to get from here to here on a train, right? So we're on the train and I'm just like sitting there listening to my music, but like there's an old dude like sitting next to me and just watching the Guilty Gear anime on his phone. And I'm like, sweet. It's just like people are just like, there was another like older lady that was watching Apothecary Diaries like on the train, and I'm like, oh, that's so wholesome. It's just like these people that are like, because around here in America, like elderly people probably aren't gonna watch anime too much, so it's just like in Japan it's like this nice little old grandma watching Apothecary Diaries, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. Yeah. There was another one that was watching Hunter x Hunter. She was watching the last episode of Hunter x Hunter, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I have not seen Guilty Gear that much. I know it's a game, isn't it? It's a game and then also an anime. I don't know if it was a game first and then anime or vice versa. Probably game first. My dad calls anime it's the devil's cartoons. Okay, to his credit, though, there are a lot of devils in anime. Some of them are sexy devils. Not all of them, but some of them are sexy. Yeah, the most emotional. Also known as one of the most emotional episodes of Hunter x Hunter, yeah. Oh, yeah, I still have to upload that. I do have a clip of me eating the ice cream at a Baskin-Robbins, yeah. Some devils are part-timers. That is true, they are. I don't think the anime's gonna fuck up the backstory. Next episode's already looking pretty stiff and flat. Well, it's gonna take a while, right? Like, they're gonna go on a little bit of a break, which they just got done with a break, so whatever, but they're gonna do like a recap or something. You know what? I have a friend that actually has a very similar backstory to that. Like, her parents didn't want her to watch anime and stuff, so she didn't watch too much of it later. And then she is watching a lot of stuff now. So she's seeing, like, Death Note and stuff for, like, the first time. Yeah. Luckily, my parents didn't care. I mean, they didn't really... The only thing my mom didn't want me to watch growing up was South Park. She kind of went up to me and she was just like, I don't want you watching South Park. They swear. And it's such a horrible show. And then I actually did listen to her for a while. Like, this is when I was a little kid. This is when I was like in elementary school. Don't watch South Park. And then later when I was in high school, there was a South Park marathon on like New Year's Eve. And I watched like a bunch of episodes. And I'm like, this is the funniest shit ever. I know. But at that point, I was like a high school student. So it's like it didn't matter. But like, yeah. That was the only thing I can really remember my mom like telling me like I cannot watch. Which is so weird. Because my mom showed me, like, all the Friday the 13th movies when I was, like, 7. So, like, horrible murder, and there's they say the F word and all sorts of shit up and down. There's, like, sex and stuff in those movies. I was allowed to watch all of that. But, like, I don't want you watching South Park. And I'm like, Mom, I don't think you... I've seen Friday the 13th, like, every single one of them, right? Like, there's, like, yeah. But, like, okay. Okay. We were just talking about this the other day. She didn't want me to watch Blair Witch Project. And, like, I remember she's like, I don't want you watching Blair Witch Project. I'm like, there's nothing in Blair Witch Project. Oh, it's funny. I think it's just based off of the stuff my mom watched in, like, the 80s. So my mom was a big fan of, like, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. She watched that, like, Carrie. She watched that stuff growing up. So she's like, oh, yeah, that stuff's fine. But, like, oh, this new horror movie that's out, you can't see that. I'm like, whatever. It was funny. It was funny. Yeah. That reminds me of this story. I gotta tell you this story. So... okay, there hasn't been a new Friday the 13th movie in ever, but they did a remake. It was really shitty. Michael Bay did it way back in 2009, okay? I was 15 years old when it came out. And me and my mom went to go see it because we both really big fans of the movie. So we go in to see it, and we're sitting in the theater, and it's like a Sunday afternoon that we're going to go see it. And I'm sitting there, and then before the movie started, this old grandma came in with, like, her grandson, I guess. This was like a little kid. He was probably like 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that. And I'm sitting there like, okay, that's a little strange to like this movie is a horror movie and stuff. And the remake of the movie, within the first like 15 minutes of a remake, there's like a topless scene. Like that's what the Friday the 13th movies are. There's like a lot of like there's sex scenes and shit, which by the way, super fucking awkward to be, you know, I'm 15 in a movie theater watching a girl like getting, you know, topless and my mom's right next to me. That's awkward enough. But the old grandma, like as soon as that happened in the movie, she like immediately covered her grandson's eyes like, okay, let's go, let's leave, all right, we're just gonna walk out now. This isn't the right kind of movie for you to see. I think what probably happened was she was like, ooh, that's a scary movie. Do you want to go see a scary movie, little Billy? And little Billy's like, yeah, I like scary movies. Not realizing that horror movies are not just about that. There is a lot of violence and blood and gore, but like there's other shit too. There's cursing and there's nudity. And I think she didn't realize that until that moment where she was like, okay, yep, that's not the right kind of movie. Yeah, oh no, it was awkward as hell. Enough of that, yeah. I also went to go see Hangover 2 with my dad. There's some scenes in that movie that were awkward as fuck. Let me tell you. When that movie came out, I was probably like a year older. I was probably like 16 when that happened. Ah, dude. Yeah. Didn't Jason punch a dude's head off? Yeah, that happens in part 8. And a lot of people shit on part 8 because it's Jason Takes Manhattan and only literally 5 minutes of the movie take place in actual Manhattan. They just didn't have the budget to film there. That's all they had. And there's like one scene in Times Square and that's it. But I kind of like it. I kind of like part 8, to be honest with you. Yeah. Super Bad with my dad was awkward as hell. Oh, dude, I remember when I was a freshman in high school, we had a teacher. He was first period like history teacher, and it was near the end of the school year, and we just kind of weren't doing anything. He's like, yeah, you could bring in some movies. We can just watch a movie. So one guy in my class brings in Juno and starts playing Juno in the class, and the teacher's like, I don't know, is this okay for the class? And he's like, yeah, it is. And we start playing Juno, and like I think there was the part in the movie Juno where she goes to the Planned Parenthood clinic, and the lady is like, they make his junk smell like pie. Like there's like flavored condoms. And immediately at that scene, our teacher, Mr. Grass, she was just like, okay, all right, I'm turning this off. Like, that was great. That was a funny time. Oh, yeah. Anywho, going back to One Piece questions, if anybody's got them. We usually do like the first 45 minutes of this is like we talk about the chapter, which we did, and then we bullshit about other topics after that. Oh, man. We watched Schindler's List in 8th grade in class. Damn. There was a movie that we watched, and it was called... Let me look this up. It took place during World War II. It took place during that movie. Jacob the Liar. Robin Williams is in it. I don't think it has great reviews. No, it's got like a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I remember seeing that movie. It's about a guy that lives in what's it called? Like a quarantined off zone during World War II. They're not allowed to leave. They can't get any information in. He has a radio, or I think he lies about having a radio, and other people think he has a radio, and he's telling them stuff that's happening without actually knowing. And he's basically just lying Like, oh yeah, don't worry, the American troops will be here and we'll be liberated and we'll be saved any day now, and Germany's gonna fall and all that shit. And he's basically just lying, but trying to keep everybody's hopes up that like this is actually gonna happen. Yeah. In the ghetto, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah, I haven't seen it in years, but apparently it doesn't have great reviews. But I remembered it because I remember Robin Williams, and yeah, he's great. Yeah. Ylva is pronounced Eve. Oh, God. Ylva? Wow. Yeah, I'm probably just going to stick with Ylva. I'm sorry. That's rough for me to pronounce. All right. Teching, what do you think about two people's love hockey? Maybe that's how Scopper was able to do permanent damage. I mean, they are kidnapping their children, right? Like, they are kidnapping Colin, who is Scopper's son. So, like, he is probably going to go more ham than usual here. Like, what's more dangerous? Like, imagine if Roger was still alive at Marineford and Ace is about to die. Holy shit. Roger would have, like, sliced Akainu in half with a Kamusari, okay? And it would have stuck. Ylva. Ylva? Is that it? Uh-oh. Ylva? Did Summers lose his right arm or left arm? He lost. I think there is an error here. Yeah. Well, no. Okay. All right, so this is the way. Okay, so he's standing this way, facing the Straw Hats. Scopper comes running in, slices off his left arm. Then there's a different shot where he's, like, facing, like, I thought it was like he turned around and got slashed from the other direction. Like, he gets slashed, turns around, then gets slashed from the other direction. But we could see that the arm that got cut off was the arm that had his armband. Like, he has that armband with, like, the God's Knight symbol on it. And in the next panel, it's the other arm that doesn't have the armband. So, I mean, that could be easily, I think, fixed. I think Oda, like, that's probably going to be fixed in the Tankobon. All Oda has to do is just color out the armband there or, like, move it around. I think he could do it. Or draw the armband on the next one. I think he could do that pretty easily. Yeah. Yeah. That's a little bit of a thing. But once again, I think that's just, it's an art error. I didn't even pick it up, but yeah, it's an art error. It's not anything relevant to it. Like, that's Scopper Gabon's stand ability. He cuts off an arm and then it reverses to the other arm. It's like, what? It's like Shinji's ability. No, I think that's just an error, and that'll be corrected in the Tankobon. Yeah. Rayleigh did not know for sure Ace was Roger's son, though. That is true. Rayleigh did not know. Wall-E. Like Garp's Fist of Love. Who's my favorite villain? My favorite villain, like, overall? Would you consider... Yeah, Magellan was a villain. He's not evil, like, on the level of Doflamingo or anything. But, like, yeah, he's probably the most fun, I think, in terms of, like, personality quirks and then also just him kicking Luffy's ass. Like that. Magellan ranks pretty high for me. Also, Scopper, I mean, like, Summers was panicking over Scopper showing up. He was shitting his pants. So I think he's pretty damn sure that, like, oh no, the one guy on the planet, there's only, like, 5 people on the planet that can actually kick my ass, and one of them's right here. Fuck, and I stole his son. Crap! He's gonna go John Wick! How did Scopper get his nickname, Mountain Eater? Well, 2 possible explanations for that. 1, he sliced up an entire mountain. 2, he's married to Ripley. Oh, I love The Shawshank Redemption. That is, like, one of my favorite movies. Love that movie. I have definitely seen Shawshank Redemption. We could do a whole Shawshank Redemption stream if you want to. How excited to hear Frankie's voice actor do his first super. It was fun. He's doing a fine job, you know? Like, we heard Kazuki Yao was doing it for a very long time. It's going to sound weird for a little while. I think eventually he's going to find his voice with this. He's going to settle into the point where it's just natural. It's going to feel weird for a little while because it's not the voice that we've heard for the last like 20 years, but this is what we have. I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. You stole Goku's kid? What's wrong with you? Oh my shit. Well, first we beat up his wife. Oh god, they beat up Ripley, then Scopper really goes crazy. I think you funny. I'm gonna frame that in my living room. Ether is back to, I don't know. I think you funny. I like that. Good job. Thanks. I appreciate that. I think you funny. Thanks for the $2. Do you think the Knights' real bodies are in Elbaf? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's like they're in cryostasis or something and these are like thought projections or something. I think they are their real bodies. Yeah. Why is that so funny? I don't know, but it is. You have caveman fans. We like One Piece. Funny, Luffy, stretch. Funny, Luffy, punch. Nami, sexy. Usopp, funny man. It's just like, yeah. Robin, cool. Scopper, cut, bad guy. It's just like, there we go. I think Shamrock's coming back. It would be so weird for Shamrock just to like peace out of the arc and we don't see him again. Now that we know that it was Scopper on the cover page with Crocus, any new ideas on who could have been watching Laboon while he was on Roger's ship? Yeah, I've often wondered about that. I've often thought about, like, who did Crocus leave? Like, the Rumbar crew left Laboon with Crocus, and then Crocus had to leave for, like, a year or two to be with the Roger Pirates, a little more than 2 years, actually. And, yeah, so somebody had to watch him in the meantime. I'm wondering who that is. Yeah. Maybe he just had a friend to watch the Lighthouse for him for a couple of years. Yeah. I kind of want you to do a full video talking like a caveman now. There's a game I have called, it's really fun to play. It's called Poetry for Neanderthals. And you have to, like, answer questions in, like, caveman grammar. You're not allowed to use anything more than one-syllable words. And they give you this big inflatable, like, mallet, like, big bonk stick. And you blow it up, and then it's just, like, a little balloon. And if somebody uses more than a one-syllable word, you bonk them on the head with it. God's Knights have not displayed blatant hockey. Could not sense Robin and Chopper in the beard either. Are they hockey less? So there is a scene where it looks like Summers is kind of looking at Saul's beard, like he sort of sees or notices something, but then has to go away for a bit where they're like rustling around. And then Summers is like, But then he goes to, like, you know, make a call on the Den Den Mushi to all of Elbaf. I don't really know. It looks like he's transforming his sword into a Thorn Kanabo whip thing that also has hockey on it. Like, it's a darkened, you know, it looks like it's vulcanized. So, I don't know. I would assume they have hockey. They also might just have that level of confidence, like, I'm fucking immortal. Like, you can't do anything to me. Yeah. Loki is practically sealed to be a protagonist now that he's eating and hanging out with Luffy. Yeah, I mean, like, Loki already was like, there was a brief moment where, like, Loki's the bad guy, but, like, that lasted for, like, a chapter for me, personally, and I'm like, Loki's not gonna be the bad guy. Loki's gonna be fine. He's gonna be a good guy. Maybe not, like, a good guy, but, like, Luffy... I mean, Luffy is not he's not lawful good, you know what I mean? He's chaotic good at best. So, Loki might fall into a similar category. Gunko equals Ginny. I've heard that. I've heard the theory that it's actually a Ginny clone kind of thing. I guess we're going to have to wait to see what her hair color is. Maybe in the next Tankobon, we'll probably see the official. Maybe a cover page or something. We can see what her hair color is. Oh, Roger Base is in here. Hey, Roger. Where's Roger at? Roger Base in chat. Where? Roger, where are you at, Roger? Where did you go, Roger? Oh, there he is. Why aren't you a mod in here? You're a mod now. You are now the power of Mjolnir. There we go. How you been, man? New mod. Made my day better. Yeah, Summer shot the vine out of his dick. I mean, yeah. I mean, what? I mean, I guess he could do that. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the questions that, like, can Luffy stretch his dick? Yes, Oda's answered it. Can Robin spawn her boobs with her ability? Robin's like, I mean, Oda's like, yes, she can. Yeah, yes, this is all. Yes. If you think, couldn't, I don't know, Caribou do? Yes. Unfortunately, but yes. I just mentioned that one of my members donated today and asked that we were doing the next Reverie and specifically recommended you as the next host. You absolutely kill it. That's a lot of responsibility, man. That's a lot of work. And it's always a lot of work. And I always feel like I'm not going to be able to do it right. I was like, oh, man, that's a big responsibility. I appreciate it, though. Thanks. But that's a lot of work. You do a great job. A lot of people, like, always have a great job with hosting those things. But, yeah. That is exactly what I said. How about a video about the weirdest questions that fans have asked Oda? That does. I'll write it down. I'll put it on the list. And these are only the questions that show up in the SBSs. I'm sure Oda gets way weirder ones that they don't make it to print. You know what I mean? When do you think the monster trio is going to come back into play? Very soon. Very soon. I think within the next chapter or so, we're going to have this epic double-page spread of Zoro, Sanji, Luffy, Loki, Hyrunin, and all the new giant warrior pirates will probably be, like, in the background, jumping up somehow out of the primordial world and landing and then, like, fighting. Like, it's going to be a really cool scene, trust me. Oda's going to have them show up out of nowhere. Especially since we haven't really seen them in the last couple of chapters. You notice that? We haven't seen them in a few chapters. They're probably working on, like, recovery and then figuring out a way to get up the tree. Yeah, I talked to my mom today. We went out for lunch. So this morning, my friend's, one of my best friend's little brother graduated college. So I went to their graduation this morning, and that was really cool. Got to see a lot of, like, it was the same university I graduated from, so I got to see a lot of people there. And then me and my mom went out to eat lunch together, and I gave her Mother's Day gifts and flowers and everything like that. And then I came back here, and now I'm doing this. So there we go. That was my day. I got a thing that's like a pop-up ad. Here we go. Nami is going to be super pissed at the Monster Trio after they come back. Probably. Nami is... I don't know. Like we had that scene where Nami in the last chapter was, like, laughing. She was like, oh, Robin, you were so cool. That was so badass. And Robin is like, okay, we're not out of the woods yet, Nami, all right? We're still kind of fucked here. But, like, okay. And she's, like, trying to cut the threads and she can't. Nami's just like, I knew you could do it. I'm like, that's great. I appreciate it. Nami. Oh. Do you think Ronya has a tragic backstory? I don't think it's anything on that level. I don't think it's anything like, she was abused or something and she has that particular viewpoint. I think that's just how she's extrapolating the stuff, like, oh, don't cause trouble for others. She's just taking that to, like, the utmost degree. I don't think it has anything deeper than that in terms of that. I was just questioning, like, that's like, if that was being taught in school, like, that's so different from the way that I was taught, like, in elementary school. Like, the exact way that's phrased, like, don't cause trouble for other people. Don't do things other people hate. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah. My major was digital media communications. You can see that I made it work so well. Hi. The third eye. Woo. All right, what do we got here? Yeah. Now there's the other kid. What was it called? The kid that was like had no parents. It was like, at least you guys have parents. Her story might be a little different. Yeah. You are communicating to us digitally, so I guess it worked out. Let me go through the other super chats here, because we'll be winding down on this pretty soon, about an hour and a half in. Let's see. God's Knight's playing to blatant hockey. Scarpagamon on the. I think you funny. Yes, thank you. Let's see. I answered that one. 100 men versus Gorilla. The men win. I'll die on that hill. If you could store your hockey into anything, yeah, that'd be Barry. Was the Robin question. Could the bubble gun of Vegapunk trap the God's Knights? I would say if they have a Devil Fruit ability, yeah. I would say so. Now, they might have really, like strength to maybe break free, I would say, or hockey, but, like, the Seraphim are super buffing, super buffy strong, so, I mean, they could probably, yeah, I think they would, but they couldn't break out, so, like, I guess that could work. Lilith has the bubble cannon. Let's use that. Yeah. I am going to do a panel at Techo this year. More information on that to follow. Yeah, I didn't really care for Pound coming back, but I probably wouldn't do an entire video on, like, the top 10 things I hate about One Piece. I just feel like that would lead to a lot of, like, negativity in the story, and it's just like, I'm not here to talk about, like, I don't want to, like, let's shit on One Piece now. It's like, nah, I don't want that to be the thing. Thank you. Thank you, Nitro. Thank you, Brittany. Yeah, I'm going to do the job video. That sounds like fun, yeah. I think I got all these ones, yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the Out of My Mind for the 50. Thanks, everybody, for the donations today. I should do, there's a goal button up here. Like, there's a bunch of, like, features and stuff I've never used. Shiki was watching Laboon. Maybe. Maybe Shiki. That is where Shiki comes in. Shiki was watching Laboon. Grizzly versus Gorilla. Okay, you know what's interesting? I've seen a lot of these fights. The Gorilla is not as strong as, like, it's strong, no shit, but, like, Grizzly versus Gorilla. Hippo versus Gorilla. In a lot of these fights, the Gorilla doesn't do as well as you would think it does. Like, the Grizzly is going to beat the Gorilla. The Hippo is going to beat the Gorilla. Yeah. The Giants never made any copies of the ancient text. I mean, there could be, but they're also in the library. This might be the first generation that went to school. Are Giants illiterate? I don't think they're illiterate, but they just didn't care too much about keeping their written records around. Like, it very clearly is the case. Like, yeah, but there probably should be copies of these in, like, other villages and other, like, locations for sure. It is a little strange. Yeah, that was a video I made on the vlog channel. That it was an interesting story that I completely made up, because I made up a lot of bullshit stories on the vlog channel back in the day. Yeah, all of a sudden people were like, wow, I'm getting recommended this video from, like, 2012. I think I pull out, like, a sword at one point in that video. Like, I was at work, and then this guy showed up, and he was talking to me, and I pulled out a sword, and I'm like, yeah, that didn't happen. And there are people that actually message me like, did that actually happen? I'm like, no, I didn't pull out a fucking katana. Like, no. Yes, I was a samurai. Thoughts on the theory of Thriller Bark being God Valley? I have definitely talked about this in a video before. I cannot remember the video. Hold on a minute. I think I might have just mentioned it in a God Valley video I did, like, a while back. What was the last time I talked about God Valley? Okay, I made a video on God Valley in October of 2023. That might have been it. I also made a video. Actually, I made 3 videos on God Valley. Actually, 4 videos on God Valley in 2023, because we learned a lot. I think 2023 is when we got the flashback with, like, Roger and Garp and Rocks and everything like that. So that's why I did the video there. But, yeah, in one of those videos, I do talk about that. I do talk about it. God Valley looks very different from Thriller Bark, but then again, a giant fucking war took place there. Garp was, like, fisting mountain ranges. So maybe after the battle, a chunk of it was taken, and that is Thriller Bark. It is possible. It is a very different topography, though. 100 men versus gorilla. Who would win? The 100 men. Yes, 100 men would beat a gorilla. Yes, the gorilla would be exhausted after like 10 minutes. Gorillas are not built to fight for long periods of time. Not enough videos about God Valley. We need more videos about God Valley. Biblo. Biblo is going to kick out. I'm serious. You watch that fucking owl, all right? That owl is going to do some weird shit, all right? Pay attention to that owl. I'm not saying he's going to kick all the God's Knights' asses, but if he does, I wouldn't be surprised. And two, you watch that owl. He might show up out of nowhere and start talking in this really erudite, like, human tongue and be like, it appears it is finally time for me to reveal to lift the auspex and for all of us to reveal the secret of Elbaf. You know, it's going to be some weird shit like that. It's going to be like an Attack on Titan when the Titans started talking. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's going to be that. But yeah. Yeah, we could do a couple more, and then I'm probably going to be ending it soon. Wan Shi Tong's Spirit Library. I am Wang Shi Tong, he who knows 1,000 things, or 10,000 things, yes. Biblo has a fruit that's the Grow fruit, which is very similar to... it's kind of like Beiji's, but not really. Apparently, it just makes objects bigger. So that's cool. You could do a lot of cool stuff with that. Luffy could turn into a giant, and then, like, he could make Ragnir huge or something, and then Luffy could pick it up and use it or something. I don't know. My prediction for next chapter, I am probably going to say that we are... You know what? I'm going to say we are going to get, like, the cool double-page spread of Luffy's group showing up in the next chapter. I think that'd be a pretty good moment. I think Ronia's going to fall off the side, and then they're going to show up and save her at the end of the chapter, and that's going to be the big thing, yeah. Yeah, I talked about Gabon cut off Summer's left or right hand or both. He didn't cut off both hands. There's an error in terms of the artwork, which I think it is pretty clear it's an error. Yeah. It's more like San Juan Wolf's fruit, kind of, except it's on objects, not people. Why is Elbaf so slow? See, I don't think it's slow. I think it's moving fast. It's only like 20 chapters in, barely, and we've done a lot of stuff since then. Like, we're in the middle of this big battle. There's, like, a bunch of stuff going on. I can't see how you could say it's slow. I mean, all the books should be in Punk Records, which is still currently floating in the sky, so they're good. But the Straw Hats don't know that, though. Yeah. And Lilith got separated from it, so yeah. Wano did drag at times. I'll give it to you. Wano did have moments that was like, stuff is happening, but it's not, like, advancing the plot too much. I think you could have definitely compressed down Wano a bit. I have not played Expedition 33. I don't even know what that is. Yeah. Elbaf feels faster than Egghead. I think it is. I think it is in terms of pacing, yeah. We're only 11:48. It started at 11:26. And we had to do, like, Rhodes' little miniature city for a little while. And then we got to the real thing. So, yeah, we're only, like, 22 chapters into Elbaf. I think we've covered a lot of ground so far. It doesn't feel too rushed, either. Like, the stuff with the banquet seemed like it was... The banquet stuff stuck around for about as long as it could have. It should have, I guess, I should say. The moment where they go in the castle. They're skipping over a lot of travel because Elbaf is huge. So, like, it's going to be tricky to be like, let's go from the castle to the village. Now let's go from the castle to the primordial realm. You know what I mean? Like, it's easier just to be like, okay, time passes and Luffy and Zoro are in the primordial realm now. Like, there you go. Like, it's not a real question of how they could get down there or how hard it is to get down there. Like, it's just going to take time. We're just going to cut ahead to them down there, you know? Yeah, so I think we just have to do that just because of the sheer scale of everything, right? I'm over Elbaf. I don't know how long it's going to go on for. Prepare yourselves. Aw, thank you. Yeah, we did. feels like we're in Act 3 of Elbaf, but this is probably only Act 1. I mean, I don't think Oda's going to do the act things, like, literally again. Like, that was the whole thing with Kabuki for Wano. But, I mean, it does feel like, is this all it's going to be? Like, they defeat the God's Knights, and then they save the children, and everything's good, and then we move on to the next arc? Or is it going to be something else going on here? Is there going to be a stage 2 to this boss fight? Because we still have, like, the actual fights we need to see. Like, considering we don't have that many enemies, we only have 3 of the God's Knights currently, maybe Shamrock if he comes back, we have at least 3 fights that need to be shown. And so there's no reason why. It's not like in Dressrosa where we had, like, all these members of the Doflamingo family that we had to focus on. So it was really just like Hyruden and Machweiss get 1 chapter to fight, and Leo and Giola get 1 chapter, and, you know, Lao Ji and Asai get a chapter, right? Like, that's nothing like this. Like, this is only 3 enemies, and a lot of people at Strats are all there. So, like, it really should be, like, multiple chapters for a fight with Gunko, then Summers, then, which this could be the one for Summers right now, and then also Killingham, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Krabs is, yeah, Clancy Brown is in Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, he's Warden. He's not the Warden. He's Hadley. He's the captain of the guard. Yeah. You shit when we say you shit, and you piss when we say you piss. Who is the worst, Caesar or Rode? I would say Caesar's worse. Caesar was, like, experimenting on children with, like, illicit drugs. Caesar was worse. Yeah, Loki flashbacks coming up, but we just don't know when that's going to be incorporated. I thought a good place to put it would have been like a few chapters ago. Clearly, we didn't do that. Now we're kind of in the action, so maybe Loki's flashback will be more toward the end of the arc, maybe. Maybe Oda's saving that for the twist. What is going to be the twist? Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to end it here. That was pretty good thing. I think we covered a lot of stuff in the chapter this week. I'm going to try to do these chapter summary live stream things, question and answers. I'm going to try to do these Sundays because that's when their official comes out and it's like everybody's on the same page. People that really like raise your hand if you read the chapter when the official comes out. Like, you wait until the official. You try to dodge spoilers as much as possible, even when, like, the TCB is out. Like, you wait until Sunday. Because if that is you and you're in here, then, like, that makes the most sense, like, to do them now because everybody has seen it, and it's like, yeah, see, there we go. So it's like, I'll wait until Sunday to do the chapter discussion in, like, a back and forth, like, you ask me questions, because now everybody's seen it. That's probably makes the most sense. Yeah. So we could try to aim to do that in the future. I did them on set, like, I would do the review on, also, I'm going to wait until, like, usually the TCB is out for the review. I did the review a couple of weeks ago. I did the chapter. I woke up and I found some website that had the chapter out and it was in English. And I was like, oh, okay, it's out. I'll talk about it. And, like, everybody in the chat was like, where are you getting this from? Are you just doing this off the spoilers? I'm like, no, I read the chapter this morning. I Google searched it. I found it. And it's like, it's not, TCB's not up. So I'm just probably going to wait until the TCB version's up. It is a good translation. I'll just wait until that to get that version done for the review. And then Saturday I might do something else, and then Sunday I will do, like, the live stream discussion when it goes live. Yeah. Probably just do it that way. Yeah. Anyway. Yep. I'm impatient. I can't wait. Yeah, that was the case with a lot of things there, yeah. It's trying to find the, like, because, like, the way I'm always doing this is, like, what is it called? Like, it's trying to be, like, got to get the chapter review out as quickly as possible because people want it out, like, as fast as possible, right? And it's like, okay, how early could I conceivably get it out? And it's like, well, maybe it might be too early sometimes. It's like, okay, I'll wait until, like, most people have seen it, then I'll talk about it. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then there's, like, a million other fucking websites. Like, I don't know. There's a smorgasbord. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I still got to do a video. I still got to do a live stream where I open up, like, fan mail that people have sent me. I got some stuff for my birthday I still got to open up, so I'm going to do that at some point. I still want to go through all the stuff like I bought in Japan and show you and everything. So I will be doing that at some point. Probably, hopefully by the end of this month, before the end of May. So that's the way that we're doing that. Going to be at Techo this year. I'm going to more information on that as it comes down. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Yeah, you all have a good one. Teching 101 signing out. Oh, before I go, also, I've been streaming a lot more on Twitch lately. Go over there, Twitch, Teching 101, and I'm uploading the VODs over on the vlog channel. So if you're subscribed to the vlog channel, you would know that, Teching 1001. And we're doing Baldur's Gate 3. We're in Act 3. I don't know how many more episodes are left of this or how many sessions I got. I still have quite a few things to do, but I'm really excited because I really want to get done with that playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 because I started it like a year and a half ago. So when I do stream that, it's usually like around 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern time in the evening. I'll usually stream that. I might do it tonight. I might not. I don't know yet. It's only 4 o'clock here, so by then I might be like recharged enough to do that. But yeah, those are always a lot of fun to do. Just to kind of chill out and stream with you guys. So, yeah, little notice on that. Over on Twitch, just type in Twitch, Teching 101, you'll find me. All right. Anyway, yeah, in time zones, it might be like, that's 3 a.m. for me. It's like, it's all right. The VODs are up on Twitch for like a week, and then I'm uploading them on the vlog channel. So, yeah, what are you doing on Mother's Day? I already was with my mom earlier. We went out to lunch. We had a nice little lunch. I gave her a bunch of presents and some flowers. That's what I did today. Yeah, I should just do a community post when I do that, honestly, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's all the stuff I have to say. Teching 101 signing out. Later, everybody.